Okay, hello. Welcome to the weather update. It's a little after 7 o'clock. It's May 18th, 2020. And we're taking a look at the weather right now. A little warmer than yesterday out there. But of course, the main thing is Arthur. So let's take a look at the satellite image here at Tropical Storm Arthur. You'll see it is moving east. So it is moving east-northeast away from us. And go to the current storm information here from the National Hurricane Center. We'll do this. National Hurricane Center. Maximum sustained winds remain at 50 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 993 millibars, and its movement is northeast, according to the Hurricane Center, at 16 miles an hour. So it's moving away, and not really going to be a bother to much of anybody except for high surf. And we'll look at the current storm conditions from We'll look at this satellite image as well from Tropical Storm Arthur, and you will see that it is moving away. You clearly see the circulation there, though, and there's all that convection. I wonder if there's any lightning with that. So, I'm going to just go ahead and see if there's any lightning activity with all that convection offshore. Not really. Not really. Most of the lightning activity is over here, and there's some severe weather. I believe if we go to the weather and hazards map, you will see that. Alright, we have a high surf advisory in effect for Long Island South Shore, and that's because of the easterly fetch as well as the tropical storm out there. And we're going to be dealing with this easterly wind fetch for quite some time. So temperatures are in the mid-60s, 65 at Carl Place. So I can tell you this, though. I have to put the air conditioner on because I can't get fresh air in my place because I got faced the wall. Literally, the heat just gets trapped in there. It's like there's no air gets in there. I wish they would put like a giant fan on the roof or something. I don't know. I just hate even to put the air conditioner on when it's so cool outside. But when I open my windows, I don't get cool air. So it's a little cooler on the South Shore, not surprisingly. We got temperatures around 60. Cause you get that southeast wind. So let's look at some current observations across the area. It's 65 in Central Park and 64 at Farmingdale. It's very nice and cool and comfortable out. If you have windows that face the outside, you can enjoy that cool air. 62 at Islip. And so it's a little cooler as you head out east. Not too much wind out there. Light winds, northeast at 5. Yeah, cooler at Gabreski Airport, 60. And it's probably cool in Jersey, too. With that east wind, it would probably keep it cool there, too, as well. So you can see the offshore warnings. Offshore waters have tropical storm warning. And we actually have a gale warning in effect for the offshore waters that are, closer to us. Yeah, it's cool in Tom's River, too, with that east wind, 58. The northeast wind at 12, gusting to 20. So let's go and look back to the weather and hazards map. We'll pull out and we'll show you all the. I'm surprised that it's not popping up the tropical storm stuff over here. Alright, but there is a tropical storm warning in effect for this particular area right here. I know it's not showing, but you can see the gale warning and the high surf advisory for the South Shore. And if we go further to the west, you'll see tornado watches and some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for, it looks like, Kentucky going up through Ohio. So let's go and look at our. I guess we'll go. Oh yeah, did I show you this? This was the high-resolution satellite. I don't know if I showed you this, but here is Arthur again. This is what it looked like earlier today. We're moving along. Not really a very well-defined eye. Very raggedy. It's a weak system. It's nothing that impressive. But what is impressive is that it is formed in May. That's what it is. What it is quite impressive. This whole thing. So let's go look at the models. I mean, you've already seen the hurricane models here. Here they are. Kind of just take it out. Some of them have it sit out here for a little while, but they just take it due east. Which is it would be funny if it took a loop-to-loop. Here's the official forecast from the Hurricane Center. It actually does have it going back south and hitting Bermuda. So that's how strong this blocking high is. It's pushing it back south. And wouldn't that be funny if it managed to regenerate in some form and then come back? That would be quite interesting. That would be quite interesting. So let's go to the models now, and we'll show you again the upper air pattern that's doing this. And we're going to actually go to the North American view, because this upper air pattern is kind of unusual. Though I do have a tendency to see this kind of upper air pattern in May. So let's go look at our upper air here, and you'll see what's going on. So you have this high right here, and that high, that ridge of high pressure, is literally just forcing everything. Look at how strong that ridge is as we go into the week. Wednesday, Thursday, it just protects us. Not only does it push with Arthur all the way down here, it keeps that cutoff low away from us until maybe Friday, Saturday, but it kind of just dissipates. And then we're in ridging, and then we get some more impressive ridging. Looks like by the end of the month here, and that could bring some warmth to our area in the long range. Looking at the euro, it's the same idea. You get that huge ridge that just pushes it all down, literally. So keeps us away from this tropical system and the cutoff low. It also keeps us dry, and a concern that we're going to have to deal with now, because we haven't had rain now a little, after all the rain we've had, it's been a little dry, and now we're going to have some high winds to boot with that storm there. All right, you're already in CONUS. So we're going to look at the surface now, and I'm going to actually shift this again to the eastern U.S. region so you can see what goes on with Arthur. So here is Arthur. It stays away, but you can see the gradient gets kind of tight, so we're going to be dealing with some high winds here. There's your high over here. You're going to be getting an easterly wind fetch. So you're going to be getting this easterly wind fetch like this. And we're going to be having this for a number of days now, because the high here building down. That's going to bring that easterly wind fetch to us. And the low and what's left of Arthur off to the south. You can see how strong that high is. It literally builds in. It builds due south over us, pushes Arthur due south, as well as keeping the rain from that cutoff low. So we're dry with these strong east winds. The humidity is going to be low too. So I think that we may see some red flag warnings eventually pop up. Because it's been so dry, it wouldn't surprise me. And then we're still not seeing any rain in the area. It might not come until Memorial Day weekend, which would be very bad. It would be maybe good or bad. It would help reduce the crowds at the beaches. You could see Saturday we may be dealing with some of the remnants of the cutoff low, and maybe a little moisture from Arthur if it comes looping around again. So yeah, the Memorial Day weekend it's looking a little unsettled now, but we'll have a nice week. And then next week we've got this kind of just this ridge in the Atlantic trying to build here, and we'll have to see what happens with that. And if you go further in the fork, it looks like something formed over there. Again, this is well into the long range. So we will look at the temperatures, the temperature anomalies here, because I have a feeling we're going to see some changes with that ridging. So this week we're still going to be below normal. So it has Long Island actually a little red. It could be close to average, I guess, tomorrow for Long Island. And then below normal for Wednesday, Thursday, and then we don't really go above normal until Friday, and then we start seeing some more above normal temperatures with that Atlantic ridging going on, but nothing dramatically above normal. So no real heat waves, fortunately. The other thing would be humidity. We can look at that too, because when we get that Atlantic ridge, this also shows you what's going on too very easily. So you can see here the dry air that builds down from that high that's building down from Canada, suppressing Arthur, or what's left of it, and keeping us in the dry air. And then when those shower chances come back up for the weekend, we may be dealing with a little humidity too in the area as well. So it might be a little damp, muggy kind of weekend with a chance of showers and a mix of clouds and sun. It won't be dry. But the concern for this week, at least, is that it will be dry, and that we're going to be having these higher winds. So the winds weren't too bad today. Here's your Arthur again, right here. And we'll actually shift this over to the winds, can see Arthur on here. So here's Arthur, and it actually says for some reason keeps its strength. It might go extra tropical, or it might stay tropical, but like I said, the center of it stays far enough away. But you see we're on the periphery of some of these stronger winds, and with these low dew points, we're going to have to worry about the fire risk. I think in the Pine Barrens, I think we're going to have some more fires this week, and I'm sure they won't get covered. So that is going to be the concern for us. Low dew points. It hasn't rained in a while, and like I said, I would not be surprised if they do issue a red flag warning or some kind of advisory because of the higher winds and low humidity. Temperatures, it won't be that high, but you just need higher winds and low humidity for wildfire spread. So here's tomorrow. Looks like we get well up into the 60s again, mid 60s. Cool off at night into the 40s, maybe up around 50. And then Wednesday again, we go up into the, because of the sun obviously being out, it will be a little warmer, so probably be in the mid 60s. Fairly close to average, maybe slightly below average, and staying that way. So we stay kind of seasonal with slightly below average conditions. And then Friday and the weekend, we start heating up into the 70s. But nothing really dramatic going on as far as dramatic heat waves go. So you have to keep that in mind, that we're not going to really see any dramatic heat waves, which is fine by me. I certainly don't want that. Some people obviously do, but I don't. So that's the GFS temperatures. I'll go ahead and look at the NAM temperatures too, although I guess this won't go as far out. Let's see how the NAM has us for tomorrow here. So here are the NAM temperatures. And you will see temperatures generally, it could be getting up to into the mid 60s. I think mid 60s is a good bet. Mid 60s. Maybe a little cooler on Wednesday. It is a little cooler on Wednesday. Maybe even a little cooler than that on Thursday. That might indicate some cloud cover. We'll have to see how the cloud cover is. So that'll be our next parameter we will look at here. So here we go. Tuesday. They have a good deal of clouds, but these are all mostly high clouds, because if I go and I look at low cloud fraction, you will see there's hardly anything. So it's also going to be mostly high clouds like today, pretty much. So let's move this along into Wednesday on the GFS and see. So probably the same deal. We'll be having some high clouds. And then on Thursday, it looks like these high clouds try to shunt them south, and maybe we can have a clear day out of that. On Thursday maybe, and then maybe even Friday too. A clear day maybe, but the humidity will be coming up. And here's Saturday and Sunday. We've got some clouds around, and then that chance of showers that will show. We'll go over that again. The precipitation parameters, though, again, this week looks bone dry. So let's look at the NAM on the sky cover. So here's the NAM on the sky cover, and you can see it's got some high clouds over us. But I think there'll be a good deal of sun with some in and out high clouds. And then for Wednesday, see here they go. Those clouds try to get pushed to the south. Whether we, as that ridge builds in, whether we'll actually be able to push them all the way to the south and get a clear day, I don't know. But should be even sunnier on Wednesday, I would think. And I can also look at the RGEM model as well when it comes to skies. And I'll look at the Canadian as well. So I'll look at all of them for you. Here is tomorrow. And this is this is like a higher resolution version of the Canadian, I think. So you can see the cirrus. Mostly high clouds over us tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine. And then for Wednesday, we try to squash those high clouds to the south when that ridge dives down. We'll have to see if we can actually push them all the way to the south or not. I'll look at another model. We'll look at the Canadian. So here's the Canadian. So yeah, similar idea. You can see this is. I think it's just a high. The RGM I think is just a higher resolution version of the Canadian. And then Thursday would be your clearer day. So it looks like Thursday would be the clear day, and then this model at least seems to suppress this even more on the weekend. So we're going to go back to the NAM 12 kilometer. We're going to look at the precipitation here, reflections here, and show you again that this low just kind of stays out to sea, but it kind of sits and then it does like a loop-to-loop. So it kind of like the remnants kind of just sit over there, to this, over there, like over Bermuda, as that high just builds in and pushes it all south, which is very interesting. Like I said, very unusual to see this. Well, I'm glad that we're not getting this thing. That's all that we don't want. Even though it's not a major tropical storm, it would still be enough to cause problems if it did come our way. So fortunately, it stays offshore, but you can see the higher winds along the south shore and the east end there showing up. So that's why we have to watch out for the high surf. So I guess that's a look at the models there. I just want to go to windy.com and take a look at windy.com. Just wait for this to load, and then we'll. Alright, so there you go. This is what it looks like on windy.com. So pretty impressive here, and again, this is based on the European model here. So you can see those maximum sustained winds around 50 miles an hour. You can see the eye very well defined. And if we move this along into tomorrow, we'll see what happens here. We'll see how windy.com. Now this is based on the Euro. So let's move this to 9 in the morning. You can see it's moved due, and you can see some of the stronger winds. Stronger winds are in east end of Long Island there, and you can see it kind of just gets squashed. Gets squashed to the south there, but it kind of just sits there. So it kind of just sits, and then what's left of it gets pushed toward Bermuda. It's really unusual to see this. It's literally just getting flattened by that ridge that's coming in, that high that's building down. It just literally just gets flattened. So I'm going to put this back to now, and we're going to look at the wind gusts feature on this. So here's the wind gust feature on this. 56 mile an hour gusts. So yeah, there's some pretty strong gusts out there. 62, and for our area, we'll see what kind of gusts we get. So we go into tomorrow, 2 p.m. You can see we may be dealing with some wind gusts. Tomorrow's going to be breezy. We'll probably be dealing with wind gusts up to like 30 miles an hour. Probably maybe a little closer to 40 mile an hour on the south shore, right from the east. That's why the high tide, we got to watch out for that. Here's 9 p.m. You can see it starts getting squashed. But we'll still have to be dealing with breezy conditions Tuesday into Wednesday. And we probably don't start seeing the breezy conditions die down until Thursday. Okay, so we look at the waves, because that's the other thing that we got to watch out for. So this thing's going to be kicking up the waves. If you look at near the center of it, you see you got waves over 20 feet. On the south shore, we'll have waves probably 10 feet. So it will cause high surf. And that's probably going to be attract some surfers probably to the beach. But it's going to be a little rough out there, and there could be some coastal flooding too. So I guess we'll go ahead and look at that. And then by Thursday, I think that it dies down. Yeah, it dies down. So now we're going to go look at the cloud forecast, and then we'll wrap up this weather update. So here's the cloud forecast. You see we're in the outer edge here, the high clouds. This is tomorrow morning. This is tomorrow afternoon. And you see we're just on that northern edge. Wednesday, if we could push it south, we could have maybe a clear day, at least in Suffolk County. Let's look at Thursday. Thursday, it gets pushed even further south. So Thursday would be even a clearer day. And then Friday, we start seeing that return flow that comes in, and that'll bring in the warmth. I do want to look at the temperatures on this temperature forecast here. So tomorrow, we're going to look at the temperature forecast, and I think, like I said, I think because the winds will be stronger, I think it will be a 10C. I don't know if I'm buying the mid-60s. I think it might be more like low 60s with that stronger east wind. It's usually, the water's pretty chilly over here, so I think it'll be pretty cool over the island. Probably low 60s, and maybe upper 50s, low 60s. At least I'm hoping it'll be cooler than what the GFS is showing. And Thursday even still cooler here, only 59. So nice and cool. And low humidity too. Look at the dew points. Dew points in the 40s. When we get into Friday, you see the dew points will start rising. So I guess that'll wrap up this weather update. I'll keep you posted on Arthur, but it's really only a concern for people right at the beach. Other than that, the weather's going to be pretty tranquil this week, except for some breezy conditions. Probably the next 36 to 48 hours. Take care and thank you for watching.